hi everybody. This is the Evening Pulse with myself, Shemaine Zimo. I greet each and every one of you from all parts of the world. It is yet another divine appointment, a Wednesday, where we bring you greats, in every field. It's called African Innovators, and we've got a very special show for you. We've got one of the greats. He's African, he's Black, and he hails from New York City. We really, really are honored to have him on the show. I'll speak to you a bit more about him. It is exactly 20 minutes. It's about 10 minutes past the top of the hour here on Africa USA Radio on the Evening Pulse with myself, Shemaine, broadcasting live from Johannesburg studios. Glad to have you on the show. This segment, remember, aims to inspire, motivate, educate, as well as, keep you updated, and help you in your journey as you head on with whatever it is that, you handling in your life, whatever it may be that your passions are. We try to help you. We try to bring people that are, that are pros in whatever field that you may be in. Today is no different. I'm super honored. I've been wanting to have him on the show, been watching whatever work he's been busy with. He hails from New York City. His name is Frank Beckwith. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background about him, right? He's an educator. He's an entertainer, born and raised in New York City. He says it's the capital of hip hop, right? He's been in the entertainment industry for several years, and really, really doing great things. I understand right now he's decided to birth a very, very, it's promising to really birth a lot of good production, a production stable, and really, really is promising to give us a lot of great things. He studied acting, at the HB Studios in New York City. He's appeared in several projects, including a gripping performance on Broadway, a play called Cherish Every Precious Moment, where he played lead, as Pastor Mike. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Currently, he's released a few episodes from his production company, and I'm really, really excited to really speak to him about Focal Beam Entertainment, which is his company that he birthed. Really, really excited. Hi, how are you, Mr. Frank Beckwith?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. That was a nice introduction. I appreciate it.
Good to have you. We are so honored. You are currently in New York City, right?
Oh,
is it New York City or Atlanta?
I'm in Atlanta right now. Yeah, we moved out here about 6 years ago. Yeah, to Atlanta.
Is it?
Yeah, to Atlanta.
And the difference between the two, New York and Atlanta? If I were to move that side, which one would be best for me?
If you was to move over here to oh man, New York gives you a certain hustle and grind that I don't think you get.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like it gives you that grind that Yeah. So yeah, but if I was to move here, Atlanta is great. Atlanta, I love it in Atlanta. But I would try New York for years, and then if you see where you want to go. But I would try New York first if you was to come out here. Experience.
Okay, so New York is mainly for hustlers. People are always on the grind. People are trying to get to the next project. I think I'm that guy. I'm that person.
It'll give you that. Yeah, you'll see when you get there. The trains, the buses, the cabs, everything is. You have to be really sharp, with everything.
Yeah, I'm there very soon. Our main studios are in New York City, so I should be there very soon. Welcome to the Evening Pulse. Welcome. We are super honored. So now I don't want, I have got a profile of yours. There's a lot of accolades. There's a lot of things that you've done, which are incredible. I need you to tell me in your own words right now. Who is Frank? Who are you? Just take us through your journey until this moment, both professionally and just who you are. What do you do to unwind, all those things. Just tell us who you are. Just briefly.
hefty question. I am a I'm I'm the oldest of eight kids. Oldest. I am a father, a husband, a brother, my uncle, a teacher, a mentor, an educator. I was born. We grew up in Brooklyn originally, Bushwick. We grew up in what is now considered I guess a brownstone, but back then it was apartments. So nowadays, so we grew up there in Bushwick with me and my two brothers and my mother and my father. My mother and them, they got divorced when I was young, about 3 or 4 years old. So I was raised, in a single parent home primarily. We moved to the Bronx when I was about 9, going on 10. To the South Bronx, where my mother's side of the family is at. So I grew up around that area, my grandmother and uncles. And I was always had to be on top of my game because I had to take care of my little brothers and and focus. So fast forward, I finished high school, went to college. Didn't know what I wanted to do in college. I originally went there for vision technology. In high school, I went, we had a program where it was vision care. So I was going to make glasses and be an optician, working with that. But I didn't want to do that. I was like, I said, I don't want to do this. It was fun in high school, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And they told me, hey, I was always smart, but they told me, I was working also in Manhattan. I was working at a watch store. I was assistant manager at a watch store, and I was working and going to school. And they told me, hey, listen, if you fail this math class again, we're gonna, you're on probation right now, probationary. If you fail this math class, I was in focus. At the time I was young, 19, 20. I'm thinking, oh, they're playing. And they said, oh, you got to go after I failed it. I think it was like the second or third time. So I had to go. Went to a community college in the Bronx. And that's where I really found myself. I really learned myself. I had mentors there. Shout out to the mentors from Bronx Community College. I really grew up there and learned, how to be a leader, like a true leader. I was being mentored by the dean of the college and by the brothers there. I was a part of a program called Black Male Initiative Program. It's Black brothers from all, from around in the school. They had me in a leadership position there. And so that's where I really cut my teeth with leadership. I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I was, was into that, but I was too scared to do it at the time. And one of my mentors told me, hey man, you should try this acting thing. And I was just too nervous at the time. So when I finished there and I went to, I was dating, I met my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend, but I met her. I I'm trying to get through all of this stuff for you right here. I went to.
Well, we have the time. We have the time.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
I promise not to edit. I promise not to edit the important parts. I'll keep them in all of it. Don't worry. Just go on.
I went to another school to get my bachelor's degree here, undergrad. So I went there, and I was just locked in, head down. After that, I got married. Got married young. Got married in my late 20s. Right after my marriage, right after I got married, my little brother, he passed away. Literally like 4 months after I got married, and I got into acting school. It was that when I married in November, I got into acting school like around December or January, and he died in March. So so it was kind of crazy. My mind space. I was 2015, so my mind space was a little, but I was still attending school, acting school, and that was a very difficult time. But I learned a lot during that time, and that your setbacks and things that happen to you in life can propel you to another level if you are harnessing it right and viewing it from a certain angle. And so, with that, I went to acting school, HB Studios. I studied there for about a year, and we moved to Atlanta at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so I've been, working in and out. When I came down here, wanted to get back in education. I was into acting. I got into an acting program here where they kind of it was 21st Century Entertainment, where they basically do workshops and things like that, and they put you in front of agents and you do a showcase. So you
nice.
Like agents from New York and California and Atlanta, and it's like 20 of them, and you gotta perform in front of them. And that taught me a lot too about how much do you want it? How focused are you? How much do you want to put into what you're about to get into? I got an agent at the time. I got an agent. She was great, Terry Land from Presence Models and Actors and Models and Talent. They were great, but something was telling me in the back of my mind, you need to do your own thing. I just kept having a feeling like it was like right here, like do your own stuff. And I didn't understand what that was, because I thought you had to follow the things and go to audition.
Yeah, the procedure. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. I thought that's what you had to do. Whenever so I was sending my stuff to all agents. I finally got an agent, and then something was telling me, hey, you got to do your own thing. You can't do this. And I was, but I realized that was God telling me that, to do.
Amen. Yeah.
And it wasn't just for no reason. So I wrote a letter to her and told her that I had to, break my contract with them. And I was basically, I just, something just told me to do it, and I did it. And I got into, something told me, write your own stories. I said, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm a pretty good writer, as far as, when I was in college and stuff. And I remember having a professor telling me that I need to join the writing club when I used to do her assignments and stuff like that. But I didn't pay attention to it, but something told me you need to write your own stories. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And so something told me, look on Amazon and buy some screenwriting, get some screenwriting books. I didn't know anything about screenwriting, nothing. I didn't know nothing about screenwriting. I didn't know. Something was telling me write your own stuff. So I went on Amazon. I was looking up screenwriting books, like the top rated ones. I ordered a few of them. Dug into that. Then I went on. I didn't have enough money to get the software for screenwriting. So I got the actual mobile version on my phone. It was $10. Wow. I went to Walmart. That's over. I went to Walmart, bought a bunch of those pads, like those little square pads where you write. Like a stack of them. It was like maybe 10 of them. I bought that, and at nighttime, I would go in the kitchen and I would write out the screenplay in those pads. And then when I was at work, I would transcribe the screenplay onto my phone. So that's how I started writing. So that's how I started writing.
Just to cut you a little bit, and the inspiration, where do you then draw that? I mean, if you're now starting out and really putting these screenplays and really scripting these, where were you getting the inspiration? It's actually part of my questions that I prepared. What inspires you to even write a story? Like, where do you get the download from? What is it based on? I've been watching a lot of your work, and there's a lot of similarities, but I would like to hear it from you. Like, where do you get the inspiration? Sorry to cut you there.
Oh no, that's great. That's a great question. Thank you for the question. I'm gonna tell you this. This is a weird story. I was working when I first got down here to Atlanta. I was trying to get back to education. It was hard to get in there, so I had to work overnight at Walmart. I was working overnight. I just finished college. I had these degrees and stuff, but I was working overnight in the stocking area in the refrigerator. Set in the back in the refrigerator, freezing cold stocking. I just finished college, and Natalie Cole, weirdly enough, Natalie Cole, the jazz singer,
Natalie Cole,
yeah. She passed away around that time. It was like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Something was bothering me about that because I knew my mom liked her music, and I like Nat King Cole music, but something was, so I bought her CD on Amazon, and I would play it at nighttime when I was driving to work, about 30 minutes
To work, yeah.
back home, and I just kept listening to her songs, and she has a beautiful voice and spirit, and then I started seeing a story come up in my mind, and I thought I was crazy. So I would see a story come up in my mind. It was a song that she sung called "That Sunday, That Summer." She sung it beautifully. Her father originally sung the song, and so I just started seeing a story in my mind of this guy and girl walking, and I started seeing like the different like the city, and I started getting an inspiration for a story, and then so I said, oh, I need to do something with that. So that's when I got the pads and I started writing down. And the more I would think about it, and the more I kind of fleshed out the characters, the story kind of started to form. And so that's when I realized that you get inspiration from everything. So I'll be driving. Yeah, I'll be driving. I'll be in the shower, or I'll be at work, and a thing will pop up in my head, or I hear a song, or I hear somebody say something, or and I get it, and I just pull from different things, and then I have a real vivid imagination. So
awesome.
So that's where my web series is named from. One of the songs is from Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole's song called "The Very Thought of You." So that's where I got the inspiration for that.
Awesome. Okay, so you spoke a lot of education. You spoke a lot of, you went through high school, and even after high school, you were not sure of what you wanted to get into, right? And we go through a lot of that. I know it's not just the South African situation; it's worldwide, where young people, get stuck, after high school, not knowing which route to follow, right? And you believe, I'm sure you're a believer in Christ and the fact that we are here, to fulfill his divine purpose, right? Now I needed let me know what your understanding is on purpose, right? And why you feel we need to follow our purpose, and how does one figure it out? Now this is not going back to the young people that are sitting at home really struggling to find what they can get into. They're talented, yes, they've got the talents, but everything else leads them to a certain direction. How do then does one get to a point where they're like, this is actually it, I need to actually focus on this one? Well, I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense. That's a good question. Your purpose is derived from your passion. Whatever you have a passion in, your purpose is connected to that. There's a reason why you have a passion for whatever it is you have a passion for. Now, in order to find your passion, you have to try different things. You have to see what it is that you may like to do. You may think that you may not like one thing, and you may try it, and you may love it. I didn't think that I would necessarily love like writing, like screenplay. I love doing it. I don't know if I like the being in the background more than I like being in front of the camera. Both, but I think you need to find what it is by trying different things and seeing what it is that you connect to, because you may not know. If you struggling to find that out, take some time, back up. I think the best thing you can do right after high school is take some time off. I don't think the best thing, just my personal opinion, is to jump right back into school, because you still have to kind of find yourself and find out what it is that you want to do. You may not want to go to college. You may want to go to trade school and learn a trade, and and follow that route. So my advice on finding your purpose would be, make sure you locked in and have faith. Make sure you have faith in God. Make sure if you don't have faith, get into a space where you can develop faith, and having faith in God, and knowing that God takes care of all, and the creator of all, that he gives you the confidence in order to follow your passion. A lot of people are scared, and they have that fear because they don't have the belief in themselves and belief in something higher than themselves.
Amen and amen. Okay. So let's carry on. I believe in education. I believe that education is the most powerful weapon, the most powerful tool you can actually possess. Nobody can take education away from you, right? I know you are a big believer in it. I mean, you're studying towards your master's degree now in education, right? Is it important, especially in the entertainment business, to get the education for it? I mean, what if I'm really just naturally talented? What if I get in on stage and I just really perform? I'm a natural. Do I still need to get the qualification for it? In your opinion?
In my opinion, because I'm also a teacher, so in my opinion, yes and no. Your talent only takes you but so far, because your talent, you have to also, there's a difference between your talent and skills, because there are people who are very skilled at what they do, but they don't have the talent for it. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
You are making that. There's a distinct line. Yeah.
There's a line, because I've seen people who are very talented, but they are not skilled.
Yes.
I've seen people who are very skilled, but they're not that talented. But they're skilled in what they do. So I believe that if you're talented, get the skill set to match it. So get that skill set. If you're skilled at, because a person who is very skilled can outwork a person who's talented. I've seen that. I've seen very skilled people who are skilled in their craft who can outwork a talented person because they think, oh, I'm talented. I can do whatever they want. I remember a good example would be Allen Iverson. He was very talented, but he never. He said he would miss practice and all that stuff. He wouldn't go to practice because he just thought he was just that talented. Now Kobe Bryant was extremely skilled. He had talent, but he was extremely skilled. God rest his soul. He was extremely skilled because he would work at it every day. He said you get up at 4 a.m, work out
every day. Yeah.
Take a break, work out at 11 p.m. to about 1 and take a break, then work out from 5 to 7. So he was working, he was skilled at what he was doing, which you can outpace someone. So yes, I believe because you're talented, don't take that for granted. Because you need to you need to be skilled in it as well. I knew that I had, when I got into acting school, my teacher, his name was Michael Beckwith, white guy. He was really cool. And he told me, I remember we had to do our first performance in front of, it was like a little stage in the class, and we would have the props up and set up however we wanted. I was my acting partner. And I thought I was the man. I went up there and I was doing a little acting thing, and then he said, hey, Frank, stop.
It's not it.
He told me in front of everybody. He said, hey, stop right there, stop. I said, listen, and embarrassed me too. I was sitting there like, he said, listen, and he said, don't act acting. And I was like, and I kind of was, it threw me off what he was saying, and I thought about it. He said, and he's basically saying, you're acting like an actor. So you're not actually acting. You're acting as if you're an actor. It was a line there. And so with what I had to learn, he told me that I'm talented, but I need to learn
to polish it a bit. Yeah.
And so throughout his courses, I took him, had a couple classes with him. He taught me a few things about acting, about how you when you act and you process, it has to come out as thoughts, not as, I'm reading something and I'm trying to act. It has to come out as it's my thought, and just because it's on the paper, it has to come out as if I'm saying it, as if I'm embodying that.
Yeah.
Sit down. I'm not gonna say, hey, sit down. I'm gonna say, hey, sit down.
Yeah.
If
that's what getting into character is, right?
Yes. So I had to learn, just because I had the talent, I had to step my game up as far as my skill level, in order to get. So that's why I say that. I know that's a long.
Love it, love it. Focal Beam Entertainment. I want you to talk to us about that. Um, that's your vision. That's your baby. You birthed it. I want to understand what you're trying to minister to the world. What are you trying to say to the world? And what are we? What screenplays are we to expect from it? What are you trying to do? Why and why the name Focal Beam and just give us more information regarding that.
Okay. Well, Focal Beam Entertainment, it came along around the time when I was creating my web series. Web series, and I was thinking, how am I going to do this? I went to I'm going to tell you another story. I went to a pitch meeting where I was pitching right around here. It's not too far from where I live. There's NBC, Comcast. They have a studio. And so they had a pitch thing where you was pitching to different networks your ideas for the story. So I actually pitched the show to a couple networks. One of them actually liked the show. I'm not going to say the network because I want to blast them. They actually liked it. They gave me the contact, but they told me I need a production studio to work. So I contacted that production studio, and I heard crickets. And then I contacted them back, and I heard crickets, and I said, "Oh, I say,
is that how you work?"
I said, "This is how we're gonna work." Okay, I said, "So what I would do is, because I'm the type of person that I'm a very passionate person. When I get involved with something, I like to make sure things are done. So that's one of the things. I'm always a person who is focused on. When I get focused on something, I'm
you want to see through, yeah.
Like it's nothing gonna stop me. I'm gonna whatever. So I said, I'm going to learn what it is it takes to start a production company. I'm going to research it. I'm going to go online. I'm going to start my own. I'm going to register it. I'm going to, register the LLC and everything like that.
Yeah.
Get the people in place. It's like the Avengers. I was assembling the event. I contacted people I worked with. I said, hey, contact this producer, contact this person. I said, hey, you want to work back at this new project I want to do? And I started my own production company. Didn't know anything about it, but once I did the research on it and saw how production companies work, what do you need? This person, what do you need with that? This, that, all this stuff. My mind just locked in on it, and that's where the formation came from. It came from me being turned down by a studio and me saying I'm gonna start my own production company. And so,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So Focal Beam Entertainment, the name comes from, it actually is an acronym for my name. So my name is Frank William Beckwith, and I'm the third.
Oh, there we go.
Entertainment is actually an acronym for my name. Focal means your focus, like a laser beam. Beam. I thought of it like a beam of structures that is holding something up. When you look at housing, those beams, and entertainment. So yeah, it's a layered thing, but yeah, entertainment.
Sure. You've done a lot, you're doing a lot, and it looks like you've got so much plans, Frank. I want to find out where you get the time. When do you get the time? How do you even balance all these things? You studying, right? You teach. You're an actor, and you've got this production company. You're a father. You're a family man. How do you balance all of this? I mean, give us the tricks.
To be honest, it's very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's easy to do. It is difficult to do because you have people who you not only you look after for your home, you have your production stuff where people want to work with you with things, and you have to schedule. It could be very taxing, and then I'm finishing up school. So I would say make sure you balance everything and find the time to do the things you need to do. I wake up early in the morning, so I wake up early to go to work, and then I pick up my daughter and I do those things. But I also in between those times, I also have if I have a story idea, I put it in my phone. I may type some scenes in my phone and and transcribe it into the computer. Make sure you also have time for yourself. Make sure you have time to regain that energy that you're expending out. And make sure that you take care of yourself and do right by others. Sometimes I can be difficult as far as on myself because I'm hard on myself. So when I don't get things right, I can beat myself up, and I don't like doing that. So I wouldn't say the best thing to do is to do all of this stuff. But if you're the type of person that you want to get things done, you're gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices. So it's not a lot of time to hang out with people. You're not doing all that stuff. Your schedule's gonna be tight. Make sure you exercise, and I exercise a lot so that relieves a lot of stress. I'm about to start going hard like I used to because I really stress off me. So eat right, a lot of water, vitamins.
Take care of yourself.
Salad, take care
your body will take care of you. That is beautiful. So in South Africa, right? During the month of August, we celebrate Women's Month.
Okay.
Where women have been marginalized, women have gone through so much, and it's not a South African thing or an African thing; it's a worldwide thing. I know even in the US, women are now taking preference in a lot of things, in corporate as well as in the arts, right? Now, I need you to give advice to women that are raising girl children. Right? We raise our children to believe that, they need to be very independent. They need to be strong. I'm of the idea that women need to remain as soft and as vulnerable and as nurturing as, they can be, remain who you are, remain nurturing, but still add value. You don't need to man up. You really don't need to man up. Right? As opposed to what the world says we need to do. So I need you, Frank, to give advice to women who are raising girl children, especially because we're celebrating women right now in South Africa. This will help somebody in the US or Australia or wherever, right? On how we can raise girl children better to be effective in the community, as well as in corporate.
That is a very that's a very serious question. What I would say is I'm not sure how you want me to tackle this. If you want or you want the politically correct, because I can be very blunt with how I say things. So
I need you to be blunt. I need you to be honest, to be as genuine as possible. Don't be politically correct, because then you will be leaving out some factors that we will need, that we can actually use. Right?
Now, I'm a father who was raising a daughter. My daughter just turned 5.
There we go. That's a perfect start.
So I would say this. Now, if you're a single mother and if you have a husband or someone taking care of. So all right. So I would say this. God created us distinct for a reason. God didn't create us to be like the other, the opposite sex. I would say to make sure that you allow your daughter to be a young lady, to be soft, to keep her feminine traits. I think that's extremely important, because right now there's a lot going on in the world as far as that in those realms, and I think that we're starting to blur lines between what is what, and I think we need to remain how God allowed things to be, how a man and a woman operate, and if you're raising a young lady, strength. There's a difference between strength and being masculine. You can be strong, you can be a strong person, but to raise a child or young lady to have masculine traits as if it was her brother or something like that, I think that you're setting your child up. I think that could be detrimental to the child. From my perspective, I think the child needs to be a young child and a young lady You know, and it's there's power in being feminine. There's nothing wrong with young ladies being feminine. You know, it's a strong, it's a very strong power in that. That men, we don't possess that, and there's a reason why women possess it, and the reason why there's a strength in that. You know, there's a strength in that. Trust and believe. We men, we know, we understand the strength of that. You know?
Trust, I like that. Trust and believe.
Trust and believe. Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, I believe it.
So that's what I would say, man. Just, you know, just allow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. That part, just that part. There's strength in being feminine, as feminine as possible. Just be who you were born to be. No need to be struggling, you know, and really challenging men, you know, for positions and all those things. Really, there's no need. I like how you answered it. It was actually perfect. Simple, to the point. It really makes sense. We've come to the end of our interview, unfortunately. But I would like you to just, you know, just to seal it off, I would like for you to give advice to people at home that have gone through the most, you know, in the past 2 years. 2 years. I don't know what happened to COVID. Is COVID still around? It really does. I'm not sure. We're trying to trace where it is right now, but it's a bit blurry. Give advice to people at home who have we've all gone through it, but people have really, so there's people who've actually felt it the most, you know, in terms of losing their jobs. People have lost a lot of family members, like a lot. Worldwide, right? People right now are very demotivated, very you know, people were really strong and eager to do things. People were just waking up to really grind, have really lost hope, right? I just needed to give advice to somebody at home that really that's distraught, you know, to just you know, help them on how to move on in this journey with what we've gone through.
Yeah. First, let me say shout out to you, Charmaine. Shout out to South Africa, man. Shout out for bringing this thing together. It's wonderful to see how you reached out, and we were trying to get this thing together, and it seemed like you're bridging that the connection from Africa, and, you know, and then Black Americans over here in the States, and I like to see, and I love that to see this, you know, that what you're doing is a bridge. So I really dig what you're doing. Respect to what you're doing in Africa USA Radio. Much love. I would say that for people over the last 2 years, it's been very difficult. It has. It hasn't been easy. People have been losing their lives. We have been in this state, in this world for a while. It's starting to teeter off, thank God. But we went through something that happened once in a century, or once in, you know, every century. So there was a reason that God allowed this to happen. There's a reason that God allowed us to go through this. Sometimes you go through trials, and God will test you, and sometimes God will test humanity. You know, we have to understand that, you know, God operates the way God operates, and we have to understand that there's a reason for this. And when you see it, you know, from that perspective of, okay, what are the opportunities that are available to me now, and not the opportunities that I lost? Maybe lost a loved one, but they are in a better place than where we are now. See the obstacles that you went through as an opportunity. You know, I went through a lot of obstacles in my life. I lost, you know, my little brother. You know, when you see a person's dead body in front of you that you grew up with, that changes something up here. But you see things as opportunities. See that God is moving things in a certain way for a reason. Have faith. Get more into God's word, and believe. I know that there's a lot of people who struggle with faith. You know, I did myself. But you know, when you struggle with it, He's allowing you to struggle with it. He's allowing you to go through it. Nothing that you go through, God didn't allow to happen.
Amen.
God allowed Job to be attacked by the devil because that was one of his most faithful servants. He lost everything, but God allowed that to happen, and then he gained everything back at the end. So you have to understand that whatever you're going through, whatever it is you went through, God allowed it to happen. Now He's giving you the opportunity to see these openings and these cracks that maybe you can maneuver through and listening to His word, because God doesn't talk just in go left, go right. He talks in hunches and whispers in your spirit. All right, I feel this. Maybe I should go this way, or I feel that maybe I should go this way. And then when you do that, like I didn't know I would be in a position where I'm producing, film or writing screenplay. I didn't think that I would be doing that. I didn't think this is my first radio interview. I never thought I would be radio, but I followed God's plan in my spirit, and I allowed Him to maneuver me in certain ways, and I learned how to listen to His voice. Sometimes He don't talk for a long time, and then you may hear a hunch, and you're like, oh, all right, this direction.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah. Or you can feel something pulling you in a direction like this. Oh, okay, this is where I need to go. So allow yourself to be in a space where it's quiet enough where you can listen to your spirit. So just have faith and get into a space, meditate, get into a space where God is allowed to talk to you, or you can hear that voice. It's going to be a very quiet voice, though. It's very quiet.
Yeah. But allow God to talk to you and listen to Him and abide and do as He says. Right? And we'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's fine. Not going to be immediate, but eventually we will get back to a better place with the lesson. Because obviously, when God brings a situation, He brings it for a certain purpose, for a certain lesson. Then we need to learn something from that. So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that was it clicked to me. If you don't pass the test the first time, you have to retake the test.
I hear you. I hear you. Amen and amen. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear it. Now, this was actually I wasn't going to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask, as we close, as we wrap up. Thank you. We're done. But I need to ask you this question, right? The concept of redoing. And I don't know whether you call it redoing or reuniting. Like you found it with Friends. Remember Friends, the sitcom, and now with Martin. Okay. In my head, this is just me thinking. No, guys, don't leave it alone. Leave it alone. You might just spoil something that was really good and really mess it up for us. We grew up watching Martin. I mean, I was in high school and I loved Martin, the sitcom. And now there's a redo, remake, reunion. I don't know what you guys are calling it. What's your take on that? Don't you think they should just leave it alone?
First, let me say this. Rest in power to Thomas Ford.
Thomas. Tommy, you guys.
Rest in power to him. When I was years ago, when I used to wear glasses a lot, I used to get that a lot.
You actually look like him. Identical. It's scary.
I used to get that one. I used to get Neo, Morris Chestnut, Tyrese.
There's that other one. No, there's that other one. Wait, I'll tell you now. He wasn't the best man. A bit short. No, not Morris Chestnut, the brother. Tay Diggs. A bit.
I heard it all. I heard Tay Diggs, I heard Tyrese. But I appreciate that because they're handsome brothers. So I appreciate
Yeah.
But that was something that that we first of all, shout out to the cast and crew. Shout out to Bobby Huntley Films and the director and Rita and Eric and the producers and my cast, Chantel and Kevin and Sherry and Zay and
shout out to everybody.
We did something that went viral. It went the people want this. That's what I'm hearing. I'm a big Martin fan myself. I love Martin. Grew up watching him. My favorite right there with Martin is Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy.
Right? Yeah.
Martin, he's right there with him. So it was a great opportunity. What we did was great. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I can't.
Brilliantly done. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Sorry, that was just my view. And I'm for new things. I'm for innovation. I really am for that. So maybe I should just keep quiet and just let things let it be. Just let it be. Let me just let it be. I'm not sure.
The Bel Air thing turned out good. So I think that's in the.
Did it? Okay, I haven't seen that. Is it on Netflix?
That is on. Is it on? What's the Peacock? I think that's what it is. So it's Peacock.
Oh, I don't know whether we get that this site, but I'll try and check it out. Well, please can you give our listeners and our viewers your handles? Where can we find you? Even in the US, please let us know where we can find you. Sometimes we've got workshops that we run in the US, and we need speakers. It would be nice to have you to take care of that part. The whole production. Taking that leap of faith. I really believe you took a leap of faith with something you had no idea, how it's run, and you really put things to that's remarkable. So for things like that, mentor young people, where can we find you? Just where can we find you on social media? Please let our people know.
Okay.
Throughout the world.
On Instagram and Facebook, you can find me at Focal Beam Entertainment. Like that, on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, you can find me at Frank Beckwith. Right there, right, and you'll see me pop up. And on Instagram, you can find me at The Gentleman Beck. The Gentleman Beck. Okay, and you'll see me. This search it straight. This The Gentleman Beck, and I'll pop up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Frank. It's been amazing. You are filled with insight. You are filled with the Holy Spirit. You speak of faith, and I see God's favor all over your life. And I wish you all the best of luck in everything that you have planned. I hope it works out. In Jesus' mighty name. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm so honored.
Yes, thank you, Charmaine. I appreciate it. Shout out to South Africa, man. Shout out to y'all.
See you soon. Cheers. Thank you. All right.